here you will see me starting the forge. Now, it is a very complicated task in which you risk life and limb, as I like to say it, as you first must light your match, then turn on your propane and toss. And that is how it's done. So this is the piece of steel that I'm going to be using to make our leaf. Here you'll see the metal inside of our propane forge is heating. And ideally you'd like it to be right around the center of your forge if you're using a single burner system. And that will make your end nice and hot and red, and from there we can start. I'll see you then. So, now that I'm suited up and I have all my safety equipment, most likely the most important part of this entire process, I will now extract the metal from the furnace and come over here and grab my trusty hammer. And we're going to start by flattening our end. Now, as you'll see, it automatically will want to do a pebble shape. And this is a very quick, simple task for me, but sometimes it takes longer when you first start. But don't give up, because it's absolutely worth it. Sometimes you have to readjust the pliers, and that's alright. Just make sure that you stop hitting before you do so. Otherwise, you will watch it. When you feel that you need to adjust your pliers, please do so, as when you feel that, that's because it needs to be adjusted or it will fly out of your hand. Now, as you'll see here, I start hitting along the sides and edges of this leaf to make a nice ridge up the center. Now that will help us out later when we're doing vein work. Now, as you see here, we've got a nice leaf shape. I'm going to put it back in the furnace, and I'll see you when it comes out. So we're back out the fire and onto the anvil again. Always remember, keep the glasses down while working. Now, if you're working in an environment where there's other people around you, and as we're in the midst of, I do suggest a face shield that has a layer of something. I'm not sure what they use, but it makes it fog proof, so then you can't fog up your glasses or facial protection while you work. Now this is very good because it is dangerous working when you can't see. Always be sure you can see. And back out the forge and onto the anvil. So I'm going to continue to stretch out these tips until I get a nice rounded pebble. And once there, we'll start working on the stem. Now, you don't have to make a stem. You can just flatten out the end or not flatten out the end and put a hole in it for a keychain. But the stem makes it look very organic and nice, and I highly suggest doing it. It doesn't take that much longer, but it makes a world of difference. Once again, the forge and on the anvil. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to fatten up these edges and round them out by hitting lightly. Not very hard. You don't need very much pressure to flatten them around. Just enough that makes the tiniest difference. Then what we do is we hit our sides again. Make it spread out and around. And then we go again at the edges. Once again, just very lightly, not too hard, or else you'll end up bending your leaf over, and you don't want that unless you're looking for that. Now, as you'll notice, there is a slight flat spot at the top, and it is somewhat bending over on this side. We will fix that when it comes back out. So now what we're going to do is we put over the edge of our anvil and we're going to lightly tap your little squared off edges. And this will give us a nice round bit. And then we give a nice tap down our edges, make sure we get rid of those folds, then round, then tap, then round. And that's how you get rid of a nice one of those folds. And now we're ready to start the stem. So now we are going to work on the stem. Now how you do the stem is you repeatedly hit this area behind your pedal and you spin as you do it. And as you do this, it'll draw it out, and what you want is to make it nice and small. Now you want to try and avoid hitting spots right there and against your pedal, because that will make it look kind of weird. But this goes on for a while and you'll see that. In fact, I believe this will probably be the longest part of the video, is me drawing out the stem. Now if you look real closely, you can see there that it is getting thinner in this area. And then it gets thick. Now we want it to be real thick. So, out of the fire and back onto the anvil we go. Still drawing out this stem. You want to do evenly, quickly. This allows us to make this thinner and draw it out while not making it square. Now, you don't have to turn it too quickly, as it won't matter until the very end. But it does make it look more round as you work if you go quick. And once it gets to a point where it's super thin, it will be jumping and moving around because of all this space here. So when we get there, we'll cut it. Here we are again, out of the fire and back onto the anvil. Now this time, I will be drawing it out over the horn. That is this part of the anvil. Now, by doing this, I will be drawing out much faster than on the flat. It will allow me to make it look more organic, the more it gets drawn out. Now, as on the flat, you want to keep this rotating to avoid it going in a direction you don't want. You see here that it's starting to thin out and stretch. That's exactly what we want, and it's doing it very nicely. I'll see you when it comes back out. The fire and onto the anvil once again. Now, this time, because we've drawn out a little bit, I'm going to shorten us down so then we have something that we can work with that isn't in the way. And that's how that gets done. I'll see you in a minute when it comes back out. So, out of the fire and back onto the anvil we go. We're still working on the stem. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going to bring this up to a point, so then I am able to draw it out nice and even, and have it come out to a good ending spot. want to start by making it square. And then what you do is you just go around and hit each side until it draws itself out to a nice point. And you can see there that we're starting to get what we want. Now I'm going to put it back in the forge. When it comes out, I'll see you again. So we're out of the fire and back onto the anvil again. Now, always remember, adjust your grip, don't let it slip. That we're coming to the end, if you look real close, you can see that it's starting to form a crack, and that's not what we want. So from here on, I will not touch the tip. I'm only going to draw this out, and then when I'm finally happy with that, I'll bring it over to the grinder and you'll see what I do then. Here we are, back out of the fire and onto the anvil. As you see there, we're making some progress. Slow, but steady. Back out of the fire and onto the anvil. Take our piece. I don't have a good grip there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it with my hammer and move up with my tongs. Get a grip, don't let it slip. So see, we're making a lot more progress now. We're really getting there, and soon we'll be on to the grinding stage. So here we are, back out of the fire and onto the anvil. We're still working on this stem. Gotta adjust the grip, grab it where you want it, otherwise it will slip. Now, while I work here, I'd like to talk, well, more if I'd like to thank my good friend and mentor, Annie Daly, for giving me this wonderful light and stand that now I can have some solid footage coming off of, instead of the swinging light above my head. So, thank you. Honestly, thank you. It is wonderful. So, you can see how we've got that nice point going. We're drawing this stem out. We're going to make it nice and thin and long. And then what we'll do is we'll wrap it around and twist it around. You probably don't know what I'm saying yet, but you will. Don't you worry. Back into the forge it goes. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back out of the fire onto the anvil. And quite honestly, I like that saying. It's probably going to become a motto. maintain your spin. Make sure your grip is good. You don't want anything slipping. We're going to draw this out real nice and thin. Make it as nice as possible. Adjust your grip, don't let it slip. Keep going. Okay, drawn out a bit more, it's starting to get there. Now, we're going to put it back in the fire, and I'll see you when it comes back out. Of the fire and onto the anvil we go. I'm going to work this lower half near the leaf and try not to mess it up. It's okay if you mess up because you can fix it, but it's nicer and less stressful if you don't. Beautiful. So there we have our stem. Now it may not look like much yet, it may just look like a spike, but we're going to turn that into one beautiful keychain. I'm going to put off to the side, let it cool down, and the next time you see me, we'll be at the grinding bench. Okay, so you've joined me now at the grinding bench. We have our leaf, and we're going to be using this table sander. It's got this nice little grinding wheel right here too. Very nice. Always make sure you have a tiny quenching cup nearby. That way there, if it gets too hot on your hands, you can dip it, cool it off, and get back to work. So, without further ado, cue the music. Okay. The next step is vein work. And then once we're done with vein work, that's when we get to start playing with the stem and making it all twirly. I'll see you when I find somebody to help me with vein work. Okay, so this next part I like to call veining. It's putting the lines in the leaf where a usual leaf would have its veins that bring nutrients to and from. I'm a lazy person. I don't like help, so instead I'm going to try something new. I've only got one shot at this. If I mess it up, it's all over, done, I have to restart. So wish me luck. What I've done is I've put a 90-degree angle on our leaf so that it sits like that. Now what I'm going to do is I put our chisel down where we want it. There's one mark. There's two marks. So far so good. There's three marks. And we've bent our homemade chisel. So, it seems that this method will work, which is glad to see and hear. I've still got one more round of veining to go, hopefully. Only one. I'll see you when I get there. Round 2 of veining. Pull it out of the forge, lay it on the anvil. Make sure we're flat, toss those aside, and there's one, there's two, there's three, there's four, and you know what, we'll go for another one up there, 5, 6. Beautiful. Wonderful. Where did I put those tongs? Look at that veining. I'm not sure if you can really see it right now. Let me shine some light on the situation. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. Wondrous. Now, we're ready to get onto the stem. I'll see you when I heat it back up. Okay, to flatten this back out, we're going to take this wooden mallet. We're going to place it over there, and we use this so we don't mess up our veins. Flatten back out, and next we'll bring it around and then twirl it around the bottom part, and it'll look beautiful. Okay, so now we're over here at the vise, and what we're going to do is we're just going to set it in just like that. Going to grab it here and give it a twist. Now this is much harder than it looks. In fact, I was trying to do it with a student earlier, and I realized that it's much harder than it looks for him. So, there we go. So we've got our basic curve going. Next time you see me, we'll be back over to the anvil, and we'll be tightening that up, and then we'll come back over here and we'll twist that around. I'll see you then. Okay, so this tool is a special tool. We use it to make twists and bends and all sorts of crazy stuff, and you're about to see it in action. pull this out, now what we do is we bring it over and slip it in, get where we want it, and then twist. And you just do that until you get a nice twist going. Alright, now we're going to take it back out, heat it back up, and you'll see me at the other anvil. Okay, so here we are at the other anvil. What you want to do now is we're going to tighten this up a bit. You set it like that, and you can hit it from above, and hit it from over here. And then what we're going to do is we want to start making this tip go down. Or up, depending on how you're holding it. Alrighty, and give this a bit of a hit there. And voila. Now, this twist isn't the best, but at this point, I cannot undo it. So that's us. That's it. It's a nice piece. Keychain maybe, it's a bit big, but congratulations. You've just completed your first blacksmithing tutorial. Now you can go around saying you know things. Well, I'm Devin Dupuis, and thank you for joining me on this wonderful adventure. I'll see you when I see you. Hang in there and keep it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.